back to our channel Healthy Living by Preeti Kalra. So in our first ever post on this channel, I would like to cover the topic on why do we have sugar cravings. This is one topic which all the health professionals are being thronged off for queries as to why do we have a sweet tooth, why do some people have more sugar cravings and why do some have almost null sugar cravings. To understand it better, let us divide it into three parts as to why do we have sugar cravings. The second would be what are the ill effects of having extra sugar in our diet, and third, the most important, how to curb or how to control these cravings. When I talk about sugar cravings, the sugar that we talk of is not the sugar that is present in the fruits, which is the natural sugar which is present, or in the sugar which is present in the natural foods. Here we will talk about the cravings that we have for chocolates, for mocktails, for cakes, the pastries. That is the extra sugar that we have in our diet in these forms. Okay, so first is, why do we crave for sugars? Why is it that some people crave more and why is it that some people crave less? So the factors could be many, could be external or internal. First and the foremost is post meals. When one craves for sugar, it could be because our life has been conditioned in such a way by our parents or our grandparents that we have to have sugar or anything sweet after meal. So it's been a tradition in the family to have anything or something sweet after the meal. And since childhood, our eating habits are being conditioned in that manner. So that becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle. So whenever we finish a meal, our body again craves for sugar. Like the second reason why we crave for sugar could be because of the long gaps between the meals. That is, we've had our breakfast in the morning and then we give a long gap of 7 to 8 hours between the next meal that we take. So what happens is, there is a sudden dip in the energy levels when we put a lot of gap in between the meals, and when we eat after a long gap, there is a sudden rise, sudden spike in the sugar levels. To control that sudden spike in the sugar levels, the insulin released by the body, the insulin hormone which controls the sugar levels in the body, is also released in higher amounts. So the function of insulin is to convert the excess sugar into fat. So when insulin realizes that there is excess sugar in the body, it converts the excess sugar into fat. This is one reason of weight gain. And the other thing what insulin does is it immediately drops the sugar levels. And again we feel low in energy levels. So to combat that, to overcome that, our body craves for more sugar. So there's a sugar cycle that starts, this vicious circle starts, and the body gets addicted to picking up the wrong choices of food, and hence the spike and the sudden decrease in the sugar levels. So another very common reason for sugar craving is stress. So whenever we are low, we are feeling low, what happens is most of the people, they tend to move towards food. They find comfort in eating food which is high in sugar. What happens is, our tongue recognizes the sweet taste first, and when the sweet taste is recognized first, it hits the brain and immediately happy hormones are released in the body. So sweet taste actually releases the happy hormones, that is dopamine and serotonin in our body, and hence it helps in reducing the stress levels. That is why it is called emotional eating. It is called emotional eating. Most of the people, they tend to eat more, and they tend to eat more of the processed food, that is junk food, because it releases the happy hormones in the body, and we feel we are less stressed out. So this is where we need to check on ourselves, that what are we finding comfort in. Another important factor is when our body is dehydrated. So the body gets confused whether we are craving for food or we are craving for water. So Another very common reason for sugar craving is when our body is deficient in essential micronutrients. This micronutrients as in minerals and vitamins. Vitamins like vitamin B12 and vitamin D deficiency causes the spike in the sugar craving level. And also when the body is deficient in essential micronutrients like chromium, zinc and magnesium, which are responsible for energy metabolism, for the responsible of insulin metabolism, to be more precise, the body craves for more sugar when there is deficiency of such micronutrients. Coming on to the second part of this topic, that is, what are the ill effects of sugar cravings? As we all know that increased intake of sugar leads to what? Very common, weight gain. And weight gain is a very common reason for the related diseases like obesity, hypertension, many cardiac diseases, many renal diseases and liver related problems. So which in turn leads to hormonal imbalance in the body, hence the hormonal imbalance diseases like PCOD, PCOS, again diabetes and many other diseases. Another ill effect which we are not aware of is it leads to inflammation in the body. Inflammation is the redness of the inner organs, redness inside the inner organs of our body, especially the gut. The healthy gut means healthy body, but when the gut is affected, it is a common reason for many ailments. When the gut is affected, what happens is there is low absorption or no absorption of essential nutrients from our food. Gut is where the nutrients are being absorbed in our body and then they are transported to the cells of our body. So what happens is when there is increase in the sugar intake, the healthy bacteria that resides in the gut is killed, and the bad bacteria which is responsible for many diseases is on rise. That is, the bad bacteria increases in our body, so which affects the absorption of nutrients, and hence absorption of nutrients as in the deficiency of nutrients. The nutrients which should be absorbed by our body are not absorbed and they are excreted out. So that is all about the ill effects of increased intake of sugar, the external sugar. Now how do we control it? That's the third and the most important part. How do we control these sugar cravings? What to do and what kind of lifestyle to be adopted to curb these sugar cravings? First and the foremost is not keeping long gaps in the meals. As we know that keeping long gaps in the meal, we tend to opt for high sugary foods. Next is include enough amount of protein, enough amount of essential fats and enough amount of fiber in the diet. Include foods like yam, arbi, jackfruit and foods like sweet potato, which are high in fiber in the meal, twice or thrice in a week. And make sure that you have enough protein in every meal of the day. That is, enough protein in breakfast, and lunch and dinner. So enough protein will lead to less craving of the sugar. And you can include essential fats in the form of nuts and oil seeds. Vegetarians can include dals and legumes like soya bean, peas in your diet. And make sure that you have enough amount of animal protein in the form of curd and cheese and paneer if you are a vegetarian. And of course for non-vegetarians you can opt for animal based protein. Keep yourself hydrated. Keep yourself hydrated enough so that there is absorption of nutrients, proper absorption of nutrients by the body. Fourth most important point is have enough sleep. When you're sleep deprived, your stress levels are high, and we know that stress leads to emotional eating. Check for the deficiency of essential nutrients like chromium, magnesium and zinc, and keep a check on your vitamin B12 and vitamin D levels. Keep a check on your gut health, especially people who are hypertensive, diabetic, obese, or who suffer from hormonal imbalance. Keep a check on your gut health. Include a probiotic like charge, lassi every day in your diet. Next, slowly and gradually shift to natural form of sugars from processed sugars. Like opt for sweet options like jaggery, opt for dates, a healthier version. Of course, you have to make a conscious decision of not overdoing jaggery, not overdoing dates also, because eventually they are high in calories, being sweet. But switch on gradually. Switch on gradually, as in if you have a tendency, if you crave for it after every meal, try to have it once after every meal. Then gradually reduce it over a period of week, and then once a week reward yourself if you have not been off any kind of sugar, any kind of, you have control your sugar cravings, then reward yourself at the end of the week with your favorite dessert. So relish your food, enjoy a healthy lifestyle, and stay healthy.